Hello everyone. Naruto Fix here, back with another amazing What If Naruto fanfic. Which is, what if Naruto fell in love with the girl he never noticed? Part 1. If you enjoy Naruto stories, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the journey grow. Now let's head right into today's fanfic. The story of Naruto Uzumaki was never simple. Loud, chaotic, full of dreams. But there was one thing in his life that remained completely silent. A girl. Someone who was always there, but never seen. Her name was Hinata Hyuga. From the very beginning, Hinata existed in Naruto's world like a quiet shadow. Not because she wanted to hide, but because Naruto never looked closely enough to notice. Back in the academy, while Naruto ran around shouting his dreams to everyone, Hinata sat in the corner, watching, always watching. When Naruto failed, she felt pain. When Naruto smiled, she felt warmth. When Naruto stood alone, she wanted to stand beside him. But she never did, because she was afraid. Afraid of rejection. Afraid of ruining the only thing she had. Watching him from afar. Years passed. Naruto grew stronger, louder, more confident. He gained friends, allies, recognition. But even then, one thing didn't change. He never noticed her, until the day everything flipped. It was supposed to be a normal mission. A routine patrol near the outskirts of the Land of Fire. Naruto, along with Sakura Haruno and Sai, had been sent to investigate strange chakra disturbances. Nothing serious. Nothing dangerous. At least, that's what the report said. The forest felt calm. Too calm. Naruto stretched lazily. Man, this is boring. Sakura rolled her eyes. You say that every mission. Sai smiled faintly. You enjoy excitement too much. Naruto grinned. Of course I do. But then, the air changed. Naruto stopped walking. Do you feel that? Sakura frowned. Yeah. Sai's expression turned serious. Chakra disturbance. Before they could react, the ground exploded beneath them. Enemies appeared from all directions. Fast, organized, silent. Ambush. Sakura shouted. Naruto instantly created shadow clones. Got it. The battle began. Explosions. Clashes. Shouts. Naruto moved quickly, taking down enemy after enemy. Effortless. Confident. But something felt off. These enemies weren't targeting everyone. They were targeting him. Why are they focusing on me? Naruto muttered. Suddenly, a sharp voice echoed. Because you're the key. Quote. Naruto turned. A masked man stood above them. Watching. Waiting. Naruto frowned. Who are you? The man didn't answer. Instead, he raised his hand and pointed, not at Naruto, but behind him. Naruto's eyes widened. Hinata. She stood there, frozen, caught in the middle of the battlefield. Hinata. Naruto didn't even remember when she arrived, or why she was there. That was the truth. He had never paid enough attention to notice. The masked man smirked. So you don't even know? Naruto's voice hardened. Know what? The man laughed softly. The one who has always watched over you. His gaze shifted. The one who loves you more than anyone. Naruto froze. What? Hinata's face turned red instantly. And no. The man continued. The one you never noticed. Silence. Naruto's mind went blank. Hinata lowered her head, her hands trembling. Please, stop. Naruto looked at her. Really looked at her. For the first time. Not as someone from the village. Not as that quiet girl. But as her. Memories began connecting. Her presence in every mission. Her silent support. Her eyes always following him. Hinata. The masked man chuckled. Too late to notice now. Naruto clenched his fists. Shut up. The man smiled. Then prove it. Suddenly, he disappeared. And reappeared. Right behind Hinata. Her eyes widened. Naruto. The blade moved. Fast. Deadly. Naruto's heart stopped. No. In an instant, he moved. Faster than ever before. He grabbed Hinata, pulling her away just in time. The blade missed. Naruto stood there, breathing heavily, holding her. Their eyes met. For a moment, the world disappeared. "You're safe," Naruto whispered. Hinata's heart raced. Naruto. Naruto didn't let go. For the first time, he realized something. Not because someone told him. Not because someone forced him. But because he felt it. The way his heart reacted. The way his body moved without thinking. The way losing her felt impossible. "Why didn't I notice before?" he whispered. Hinata shook her head softly. "It's okay." Naruto tightened his grip slightly. "Number." His eyes sharpened. "It's not." Because now, everything was clear. And the girl he never noticed had suddenly become the one he couldn't lose. But the battlefield wasn't over. The masked man stepped back into view. Watching. Smiling. Interesting. Naruto stood in front of Hinata. Protective. Steady. Different. "Stay behind me." Hinata nodded. Her heart still racing. Naruto cracked his knuckles. His expression no longer careless. No longer playful. Serious. Focused. Dangerous. "You picked the wrong person to mess with." Quote. The masked man laughed. "Number." His eyes glowed faintly. "I picked the right one." Because now, Naruto had something new. Something stronger than dreams. Stronger than pride. Stronger than anything. A reason. And that reason was standing right behind him. The fight was about to change. Because Naruto wasn't fighting for himself anymore. He was fighting for her. And that made him far more dangerous. The air grew heavy. Not just with chakra, but with something deeper. Something sharper. Naruto Uzumaki stood in front of Hinata Hyuga, his stance completely different now. No more carelessness. No more distractions. Only focus. "Don't move," Naruto said quietly. Hinata nodded, her hands still trembling. "Oh, okay." Across from him, the masked man tilted his head. So it finally clicked. Naruto's eyes didn't leave him. "You talk too much." Quote. The man chuckled. "And you realized too late." Naruto didn't deny it. Didn't argue. Didn't react emotionally. Maybe. That answer surprised him. But not too late to protect her. The atmosphere shifted. Naruto moved. In an instant, he vanished. The masked man barely reacted. Naruto's fist already inches from his face. Boom. The impact sent the man crashing through multiple trees. The ground shook. Dust exploded into the air. Hinata's eyes widened. That was so fast. Naruto didn't relax. Didn't celebrate. Stay alert. The smoke cleared. The masked man stood up. Slowly. Dust falling from his cloak. Impressive. His voice was calmer now. More serious. "So this is what happens when you give him a reason." Naruto frowned slightly. "What are you talking about?" The man ignored the question. Instead, he raised his hand. The air distorted. Dark chakra gathered around him. Thicker than before. Heavier. Hinata felt it immediately. "This feels different." Naruto stepped forward again. His presence rising. "Then I'll end it before it gets worse." Quote. The masked man smiled. "Try." In the next second, everything exploded into motion. The man attacked. Faster than before. Sharper. Deadlier. Naruto blocked. But this time, the impact pushed him back. His eyes widened slightly. He got stronger. The man smirked. "I was holding back too." Naruto grinned faintly. "Good. Because now, this wasn't just a fight. It was a test." Naruto disappeared again, reappearing behind the man. A kick. Blocked. A punch. Dodged. For the first time, someone kept up with him. The clash intensified. Blow after blow. Movement after movement. Speed increasing. Power rising. Hinata watched. Heart pounding. Naruto. She had never seen him like this. Not just strong, but serious, focused, driven. All because of her. The realization hit her deeply. He's fighting like this, because of me. Back in the battlefield, Naruto stepped back slightly, breathing steady. You're not normal. The masked man laughed softly. Neither are you. Silence. Then, Naruto closed his eyes for a moment. The world slowed. His senses sharpened. Not just chakra. Not just movement. Everything. When he opened his eyes, they were different. Sharper. Calmer. More dangerous. I get it now. The man narrowed his gaze. Get what? Quote. Naruto took a step forward. I've always been strong. Another step. But I never had a reason to go all out. The ground cracked beneath his feet. Now I do. The air exploded. Naruto's chakra surged. Not wild. Not uncontrolled. Perfectly focused. The masked man's smile faded. This pressure. For the first time. He felt it. Danger. Real danger. Naruto vanished. Completely. The man's eyes widened. Where? A voice behind him. Too slow. Boom. The impact shook the entire forest. Trees collapsed. The ground split. The masked man was launched into the sky. Naruto appeared above him. Already waiting. I'm done holding back. Quote. He raised his hand. Chakra swirling violently. Hinata's eyes widened. Naruto. But this time, there was no hesitation. Because Naruto knew, if he held back, he could lose her. And that was not an option. The attack came down, like a storm. And in that moment, everything changed. Because the boy who never noticed her, had finally realized her worth. And now, he would protect it with everything he had. The sky cracked with the force of the impact as Naruto Uzumaki's attack slammed into the masked man, sending shockwaves tearing through the forest like a violent storm, trees bending, ground splitting, and dust rising into the air like a battlefield swallowed by chaos. But Naruto didn't stop, not even for a second, because for the first time in his life he wasn't fighting just to win or prove something. He was fighting because he finally understood what it meant to lose something precious, and he wasn't going to let that happen again, not now, not ever. His eyes sharp, focused, locked completely onto his opponent as he vanished again mid-air and reappeared instantly, striking again before E-Man could recover, forcing him down into the ground with another devastating blow, the masked man crashing hard, creating a crater beneath him. Yet even then Naruto didn't relax, because he could feel it. This wasn't over, not even close. And just as expected, the man slowly stood up from the rubble. His body shaking slightly but his presence still dangerous, still intact, his mask cracked just enough to reveal a glowing eye beneath it, something unnatural, something that didn't belong to any normal shinobi, and Naruto narrowed his gaze, realizing this wasn't just another enemy. This was something more, something that had been watching him, testing him, pushing him toward this exact moment. You're not human, Naruto said coldly, and the man chuckled, wiping blood from his face as he straightened his posture. And you're just realizing that now? He replied, his voice distorted yet calm, as if none of this phase had truly shaken him. But Naruto didn't respond to the sarcasm, instead stepping forward slowly, his chakra rising again, not wildly like before but controlled, compressed, deadly, because now he understood something he never had before. That strength alone wasn't enough, it needed direction, purpose, and Hinata was that purpose. Behind him Hinata Hyuga watched everything unfold, her heart racing, her body still weak but her eyes locked onto Naruto, seeing him in a way she never had before, not just as the boy she loved, but as someone who had finally seen her, truly seen her, and that alone gave her strength. Even as fear lingered in her chest, Naruto, be careful, she whispered, and he heard her. Even in the middle of chaos, even with everything happening, he heard her, and that was enough. He didn't turn back, didn't break his stance, But his voice softened just slightly. I will. Before his expression hardened again as he faced forward, the masked man suddenly raising both hands as dark energy surged around him, the air warping violently as if space itself was being torn apart, and Naruto's instincts scream. Danger. This wasn't like before, this was something bigger, something far more destructive. The ground beneath them began to crack deeper, spreading like veins across the battlefield as the man spoke again, his voice echoing unnaturally. You've finally awakened, but you're still too late to understand everything. Naruto's eyes narrowed further. I don't need to understand everything, he replied, his chakra flaring once more. I just need to protect what matters. And in that moment something shifted, not just in the battlefield but inside Naruto himself. His movements became sharper, fast, more precise than ever before as he dashed forward again, this time not giving his opponent even a fraction of space to react, each attack calculated, each movement flowing into the next like instinct itself guiding him, and for the first time the masked man was pushed completely on the defensive. Blocking, dodging, retreating step by step, his expression hidden but his movements revealing the truth. Naruto had surpassed his expectations, completely. So this is what love does to you? The man muttered under his breath, barely audible, but Naruto caught it, and his response was immediate. His fist colliding with the man's guard and shattering it completely, sending him sliding across the ground again. No, Naruto said firmly, standing tall, his presence overwhelming now. This is what realizing too late feels like. And those words carried weight, not just power but regret, determination, and something far deeper, something that couldn't be measured in strength alone. The masked man slowly pushed himself up again, breathing heavier now, his confidence shaken for the first time. You've changed, he admitted quietly, and Naruto didn't deny it. Yeah, he replied, his eyes stead. Why? And I'm not going back. Silence followed for a brief second, the wind passing through the broken forest as both stood facing each other, the tension at its peak, and then suddenly Naruto moved again, faster than before, faster than anything he had shown yet, appearing directly in front of the M. And before he could even react, his hand gripping the man's collar as he slammed him into the ground one final time, the impact echoing like thunder, the ground cracking even deeper as Naruto leaned slightly closer, his voice low but filled with absolute certainty. This ends now, and for the first time the masked man didn't smile, didn't laugh, didn't mock, because he understood. He had pushed Naruto to the point where hesitation no longer existed, where doubt no longer slowed him down, where everything he was, his strength, his emotions, his will, had aligned into something unstoppable. And in that moment he realized the truth. Naruto was no longer just someone with potential, he had become something far more dangerous, something driven not by power alone but by the fear of losing what he had finally found, and that kind of strength was the hardest to defeat. Behind him Hinata's grip tightened slightly as she watched, her eyes filled with emotion, because now she knew, Naruto had finally seen her, and this time, he wouldn't look away, no matter what came next. The ground beneath them remained cracked and broken as Naruto Uzumaki stood over the masked man, his grip tight, his breathing steady but heavy with everything he had just unleashed, and for a brief moment it looked like the fight was over, like this was the end of it, but Naruto didn't relax, not even slightly, because something deep inside him kept warning him that this wasn't finished yet, and just as that thought crossed his mind, the man beneath him started laughing, low at first, then louder, echoing strangely across the battlefield, and Naruto's eyes narrowed instantly as he stepped back, releasing his grip but not lowering his guard. You really think this is over? The man said, his voice now distorted even more than before, almost inhuman, as dark cracks began spreading across his body, not wounds, but something else, something unnatural, and Naruto immediately understood, this wasn't his real body. Or at least not completely. You're not even here. Are you? Naruto said coldly, and the man slowly pushed himself up again, his movements unnatural, jerky, like a puppet being pulled by invisible strings. Smart, he replied, his glowing eye flickering behind the broken mask, but still not enough, and suddenly his entire form began dissolving into dark articles, breaking apart piece by piece as if he was never fully real to begin with, and Hinata, still behind Naruto, felt a chill run down her spine as she watched. Naruto, she whispered, her voice filled with unease, and Naruto didn't look back, his focus completely locked onto the disappearing figure, because he knew, this wasn't a victory, it was a warning, we were only testing you. The man's voice echoed even as his body continued to fade, now no longer tied to a single point in space but surrounding them from every direction, testing how far you've come, and how much you're willing to lose. Naruto's fists clenched tightly at those words, his jaw tightening as his chakra flickered again, but this time he didn't explode in anger, he controlled it, held it back, because he had already learned what losing control cost him, and he wasn't making that mistake again. Then come yours. LF next time, Naruto replied firmly, his voice steady, unwavering, and I'll show you properly. There was a brief silence after that, almost like the presence was observing him one last time, analyzing, measuring, before finally responding with a faint, almost amused tone, we will, and in the next second, everything vanished, the dark energy, the presence, the pressure in the air, gone, like it had never existed at all, leaving behind only the destroyed forest and the lingering tension that refused to disappear completely. Naruto stood there for a few seconds longer, scanning the surrounding NGS, making sure it was truly over this time, before finally exhaling slowly, his shoulders relaxing just slightly as he turned back toward Hinata Hyuga, and the moment he saw her, everything inside him softened instantly, the sharpness in his eyes fading into something warmer, something real. It's over, he said quietly as he walked toward her, and Hinata looked at him, her expression a mix of relief and lingering fear. Are you okay? She asked, even though she was the one injured, even though she was the one who had nearly lost her life, and Naruto paused for a second at that, then gave a small, almost helpless smile. I should be asking you that, he replied, gently supporting her again as she shifted slightly on her feet, and for a moment neither of them spoke, the silence between them filled not with awkwardness but with everything that had just happened, everything that had finally been said and understood. Naruto glanced down at her, his expression turning serious again, but this time not because of the enemy. You really scared me back there, he admitted quietly, and Hinata lowered her gaze slightly, her cheeks faintly red despite everything. I'm sorry, she said softly, I just couldn't let anything happen to you. Naruto's grip on her tightened just a little at those words, not out of panic this time, but out of something deeper. You don't have to do that alone anymore, he said, his voice firm but gentle, and Hinata looked up at him, surprised. What oh you mean? Naruto hesitated for a brief second, not because he didn't know what to say, but because for once, he wanted to say it right. I mean, I see you now, he said, meeting her eyes directly, no hesitation, no confusion, just truth, and I'm not going to pretend I don't anymore. Hinata's eyes widened slightly, her heart racing at those words, and for a moment she couldn't respond, couldn't even find the words, because this was something she had waited for so long, something she had almost given up on, and now it was right in front of her, real, undeniable. Naruto gave a small, awkward laugh, scratching the back of his head slightly. I'm still bad at this kind of stuff, he admitted, but I'm trying, and that made Hinata smile, a soft, genuine smile that reached her eyes. I know, she said quietly, and for a moment, just a moment, everything felt calm again, like the storm had passed, Like the world had given him a small break after everything that had just happened. But Naruto's gaze slowly shifted toward the horizon again, his expression tightening slightly as the memory of the masked man's words echoed in his mind. We will return, and he knew, this wasn't over. Not even close. This was just the beginning of something bigger, something more dangerous, and now he had something he couldn't afford to lose, something that would be targeted, tested, pushed to its limits. Naruto clenched his fist slightly, determination settling deep within him as he looked for Ward. Next time, he muttered under his breath, I'll be ready, and this time, he wasn't just saying it for himself, he was saying it for her, for the girl he never noticed, but would never ignore again. The forest slowly fell silent again, but the silence didn't feel peaceful anymore. It felt like the calm before something much bigger, much more dangerous, and Naruto Uzumaki could feel it clearly now, that faint, lingering pressure left behind by the masked man, like a warning carved into the air itself. And as he stood there beside Hinata Hyuga, supporting her gently, his mind wasn't on the fight that had just ended, but on what was coming next, because for the first time he understood something that changed everything. Having strength wasn't enough anymore, not when someone could use the people you care about against you, not when the world itself starts targeting your weakness, and Hinata had become that weakness, but also his greatest strength, and that contradiction settled heavily in his chest as they slowly began walking back toward the village, her steps still unsteady, his movements careful, protective, never letting go, never letting his guard down. Even for a second, the path back felt longer than usual, quieter than usual, and Hinata noticed it too, glancing up at him every few moments. Naruto, she said softly, breaking the silence, and he looked at her instantly. Why? His voice calm, but alert, always alert now. You're thinking too much, she said with a faint, gentle smile, and Naruto exhaled slightly. Yeah, I guess I am, he admitted, but the truth was deeper than that. He wasn't just thinking, he was calculating, preparing, changing, and that wasn't only thing Hinata had ever seen from him before. Not this level of seriousness, not this kind of awareness. You don't have to carry everything alone, she added quietly, and Naruto stopped walking for a moment, her words hitting him in a way he didn't expect, because for so long, he had carried everything alone, his dreams, his pain, his fights, his losses, and now, there was someone offering to share that weight, and he looked at her again, really looked at her, not just as someone he wanted to protect, but as someone who had always been strong in her own way. I know, he said finally, his voice softer than before, but I still want to protect you. Hinata's cheeks turned slightly pink at that, but she didn't look away this time. Then let me protect you too, she replied, and that caught him off guard for a second, because it wasn't something he expected to hear. Not from her, not like this, but then, he smiled, just a little, deal, he said, and for a moment, things felt lighter again, like maybe, just maybe, they could face whatever was coming together, but that moment didn't last long, because as they stepped closer to the edge of the forest, Naruto suddenly stopped again, his expression changing instantly, sharp, alert, dangerous. Naruto? Hinata asked, sensing it too, that sudden shift, and Naruto's eyes narrowed as he looked ahead. We're being watched, he said quietly, his voice dropping into that calm, controlled tone he had used during the fight, and Hinata's grip on his arm tightened slightly. Again, she whispered, and Naruto didn't answer immediately, because this felt different, not like before, not like the masked man. This presence was quieter, colder, more precise, like it wasn't testing him, it was observing him. And then, from the shadows between the trees, a second figure stepped out, not cloaked in chaos like the previous one, but calm, composed, almost elegant, their eyes scanning Naruto carefully, not with curiosity, but with recognition. So you're the one? The figure said, voice calm but sharp. And Naruto didn't move, didn't flinch, just stepped slightly in front of Hinata again, instinctively placing himself between her and the threat. Who are you? He asked, and the figure tilted their head slightly. Someone who knows what's coming, they replied, and Naruto's eyes narrowed further. Then start talking, he said. His patience already thin, but the figure didn't rush, didn't react to his tone, instead taking a slow step forward, the gaze shifting briefly toward Hinata before returning to Naruto. You've made a mistake, they said, and that immediately set Naruto off, his chakra flickering slightly as he stepped forward as well. What mistake? He demanded, and the figure's answer came without hesitation. You gave yourself a weakness. Silence followed, heavy, sharp, cutting through the air like a blade, and Naruto's fists clenched tightly at those words, his expression darkening. She's not a weakness, he said firmly, his voice low but filled with certainty, and the figure watched him for a moment longer, as if analyzing his response, before speaking again. That's what makes it dangerous. And in that moment, Naruto understood something else. This wasn't just about enemies anymore. This was about a world that saw bonds as liabilities, emotions as flaws, and people like Hinata as targets, and that realization didn't shake him, it strengthened him. Then they can come, Naruto said, his voice steady, unwavering, because I'm not letting anyone take her away from me, and this time. There was no hesitation in his words, no doubt, no confusion, just pure resolve, the kind that couldn't be broken easily. The figure stared at him for a few seconds longer, then gave a small, almost approving nod. We'll see, they said, before stepping back into the shadows and disappearing just as suddenly as they appeared, leaving behind nothing but that same uneasy silence. And Naruto stood there for a moment longer, his eyes still locked on the space where they vanished, before finally exhaling slowly. It's starting, he muttered, more to himself than anyone else. And Hinata looked at him, her expression soft but determined. Then we'll face it together, she said, and Naruto glanced at her, a small smile forming despite everything. Yeah, he replied, his voice quieter now, but stronger in a different way. Together, but deep inside, he knew the truth. This was only the beginning. And whatever was coming next would test him in ways he had never been tested before, not just his strength, but his heart, his choices, and his ability to protect the one person he had finally realized he could never afford to lose. The forest finally grew quiet. Not the uneasy silence from before, but a deep, settling stillness. Naruto Uzumaki stood at the edge of the trees, looking ahead toward Konoha. The village lights flickered in the distance. Home. Beside him, Hinata Hyuga stood close, her presence calm, steady. For the first time, he wasn't alone in what he felt. It's going to get harder, Naruto said quietly. Hinata didn't hesitate. I know. Quote. He glanced at her. You're not scared. Hinata smiled softly. I am. A small pause. But I'm more scared of losing you. Naruto froze for a moment. Then, smiled. Not loudly. Not playfully. But genuinely. You won't. The wind passed between them. Gentle. Warm. Naruto looked forward again. His eyes sharper now. Not because of enemies, but because of purpose. For the first time, he understood what it meant to protect someone. Not just physically, but emotionally. Completely. They'll come again, he said. Hinata stepped slightly closer. Then we'll be ready. Naruto nodded. Yeah. Behind them, the forest remained still. But far beyond, forces were already moving. Watching. Planning. Waiting. Because Naruto had changed. And the world had noticed. But this time, he wasn't chasing something anymore. He had already found it. Naruto gently took Hinata's hand. Not out of panic. Not out of fear. But out of certainty. Let's go home. Hinata nodded. Together. And as they walked toward the village, step by step, side by side, the boy who once never noticed her, now couldn't imagine a world without her. But deep down, he knew, this was just the beginning. Because love isn't proven when things are easy. It's tested when everything is at risk. And Naruto Uzumaki was finally ready for that test. Thank you.